Meet Patrice O'Neal, the late great comedian who was a master of making fun of audiences.
Court stenographer. You know that don't make me feel comfortable. Did you do any of the child molesting cases?
And known for purposely sharing controversial opinions.
Think about what cheating is. Cheating is a guy going out trying to make himself happy without you knowing it because he doesn't want to make you upset. So really, it's for you.
So join us as we dive deep into the genius of this master comic, and we will reveal the soul of this legend to discover why there will never be another Patrice O'Neal.
One of the funniest, realest comics of all time.
He's one of the greatest comedians to ever live. He's a first-round Hall of Famer.
Patrice Lumumba Malcolm O'Neal was known for his confrontational comedic style that was funny for audience members, unless they were the one being mocked.
What's up, big man? Can you pull your pants up any higher? Hey, don't do the thing.
You're a real jackass, buddy.
He feels it. Oh, he taped it. You stupid. Listen.
Patrice had a unique approach, where he only tried to make half the crowd laugh, as he believed this was a sign of a true comic.
I love being able to say anything I want. I had to learn to stop caring about people not laughing. Because the idea of comedy, really, is not everybody should be laughing. Right. It should be about 50 people laughing and 50 people horrified. Right.
One time, he even paid an audience member to leave.
Sometimes I like running people out my show. Get out. Go.
All right, bitch. She leave, then you give it to outside.
This tough persona originates from his childhood in Roxbury, Boston, which in the 70s was the largest black working-class neighborhood in Boston, where Patrice faced racism even as a child.
It was a summer camp, I think I was 10, and this kid called me, this little white kid called me and ran, and I chased him. And he ran to where there was adults, and I grabbed him, and when I put my hands on him, I got thrown out of camp. I'm like, he called me and it's like, yeah.
This gave birth to Patrice's awareness of racial politics, and explains the tone of his racial satire throughout his career.
I would like to just never had traveled outside this country, and then I could hate America and be happy, you know what I'm saying? But I traveled, and now it's like, I like America, but I still hate, it's weird, I hate it, but it's...
The other half of his racial satire comes from a life-changing event he experienced at age 16, when he and his friends lost their virginities together.
Take her back. My mother was out of town, so we take her back to my place, and we get there, and it was, boy oh boy, it was real porn star shit.
She was a doer.
Jesus Christ, this is the first filth I've ever engaged in. She was jerking two guys off. One was fucking her, and she was sucking other guy's dick. It was wow.
This was Patrice describing a story of how he and his friends ran a train on a white Portuguese girl. Since they were a bunch of 16-year-olds that just got laid for the first time, they ended up bragging about their experience, and one guy heard the story and used this to blackmail the girl into sucking his dick. This ended up putting Patrice and his friends in a very bad situation.
She sucked his dick. After she sucked his dick, oh boy. She goes, and then she goes, uh-oh. And I got in Boston 2 weeks later.
Oh, no.
What?
Patrice was 6'4", over 200 pounds, and black, and just got accused of being a white girl with his friends in the 80s. Now, most people's stories would end here, but fortunately for Patrice, his mom knew exactly what to do.
And when I told her it was a white girl, she went,
oh, man.
I was in the trunk of a car heading to a state unknown to hide out from this situation.
She saved her son from the height of chaos, but when he went back to school and the charges followed, there was nothing she could do to protect him from what came next.
It was not whittled down to anything, because they said you either plead guilty or you can go to court. We decided to go to trial, but we admitted, yeah, we fucked him.
Yeah.
But at 16, 15.
This resulted in Patrice serving 2 months in an adult prison at only 16 years old, which changed his and his friends' lives forever.
And my boy went crazy. Get the fuck. He lost his mind because he was so scared to get raped that he stopped washing up. He didn't take showers. and they started to throw piss on him, started to beat him up. And they would come to me and go, yo, you know, you gotta tell your motherfucking co-defendant, get his shit right.
Fortunately for Patrice, when he explained the story to his fellow inmates, they knew it was a lie and they didn't trouble him and his friends anymore. But Patrice was never the same once he got out.
It changed my life because I just had this mistrust for pussy, man. It's not an anger, it's just a mistrust.
This lack of trust was reflected in Patrice's comedic approach to white girls throughout his career. Whilst the audience were hearing jokes, Patrice was just speaking his truth.
I don't throw garbage in the street, not because I care about the earth, but I'm afraid I'm gonna be walking through the park drinking a soda, and when I'm done, I just throw it on my shoulder, fly over a bush, and land on some dead white woman's head with my fingerprints on the can. Now I'm the Pepsi-Cola rapist because I'm lazy.
Another influence on Patrice that originated in his childhood was football. When Patrice was in high school, he won the state championship for football in his senior year and left with 3 varsity letter awards. Some of his habits from those days lasted throughout his career.
When I came up, dude, football was it was gladiated. It was angry. It was angry. It was just like when we hit somebody, when I played, if you hit somebody and he didn't get up, like we didn't hold hands with the other team and pray, like hold hands and everyone prays for him to get up. We used to do a Indian, like sell a hump dance circle around him like, yeah.
This explains Patrice's savage approach to comedy and all other aspects of life. He simply grew up in a time when everyone was much harsher to one another. Due to Patrice's high school accolades, many doors opened up for him. But he ended up turning down a Northeastern University sports scholarship with a housing grant in favor of studying performing arts with a major in theater studies, which at the time served as a sign of things to come.
Personally, I think college is a waste of your time.
Holla!
That's only one.
Holla. That's what I say.
All it ever did was mess up my credit, and it does nothing. All it does is teach people how to have credit problems, and it teaches people of different ethnic groups how to sleep with each other.
After dropping out of college, Patrice found an interest in comedy, and at 22, he took a job as a bouncer at the Comedy Connection in Boston. Yet Patrice did not hit the stage until 1992, 1 week after he slandered a comedian's show so badly that the comedian challenged him to do stand-up himself, and the rest is history. Patrice then spent the next 6 years in Boston perfecting his act, and he met the likes of Kevin Hart and Bill Burr also trying to become a comic at the same time.
I remember driving home one night, and he was trying to have me, like he was trying to guess which comics he thinks regularly say the N-word. And he was doing it in this funny way, and I was just throwing out names because it kind of became like a game. He's like, motherfucker, you can tell by his fucking shoes and his tight-ass jeans. He probably wakes up, that's part of his yawn or something like that, and it's just, he had me dying laughing.
Patrice's Boston career included many live shows where he was able to win over crowds with his distinctive racial satire.
I don't mind a little racism. I don't mind a little bit of it. That's what makes America America, man. I don't mind a little bit. It's just these fanatical racists, man, that say, we should have never ended slavery. You should have kept them slaves. Should have never freed them. Come on, okay, I don't care what your degree of racism is, right? Think about this. Racism or slavery in 1994? What the fuck is that gonna be? Fax this, nigga.
I was watching a classic sports network. You know what, man? I'm watching that, and, you know, all white guys used to play in the NBA. And I'm just like, look how far we've come as a people where nobody wants to watch, 10 white dudes play basketball. Nobody. Not the Klein, not David Duke. Nobody. If Adolf Hitler was alive, he would try. Because it's white guys. He would want to watch it for a minute and then have to watch it. Via the nickels.
He did well for himself and also became close friends with Jim Norton and many other up-and-coming comics at the time.
I remember watching him and just thinking, well, I'm not going to be the best comedian in Boston. This guy's the best I've ever seen.
Then in 1998, Patrice made a bold move to New York City, and he met many more comedians who had already made a name for themselves. Patrice's career was now elevating at a level he's never experienced before. He landed regular spots at the Comedy Cellar and even got to perform at the Black International Comedy Awards in London.
You ever see those specials on HBO and the food other people eat and shit, and they just had a Chinese chef cooking, and it was a kitchen full of puppies, and it just, and he take the cutest one. I become a Christian when I get on airplanes. That's when I get like, you know, I don't want the plane to crash, so I'm helping old ladies with their bags. Miss, no, don't. No, let me get that bag. Hold on a second. Let me get that. Put that up there for you. Look, God, I'm helping this old bitch up with a bag. I don't even know her. You ain't gonna let the plane crash, are you? And I'm full of shit because when the woman goes, thank you so much for putting my bag up, and I'm like, look, this got nothing to do with you. I'm just trying to keep the plane from crashing because when the plane lands and she's looking at me like, you want to get my bag out the No. I did my job. The plane's on the ground.
Whilst in New York, Patrice also managed to land a deal with the WWE after he pitched the idea of building a feud over a few weeks and ending it with a pay-per-view event. This meant he got to fly around on a private jet with Vince McMahon and some pro wrestlers.
It's like I'm on a plane with like Triple H. Everybody else got to drive their like Hyundai Sonatas from town to town, but like Triple H, Undertaker, those guys, they get on his plane. So I'm in the back and, you know, watching this whole thing go down. And this guy with the turban, he goes, listen, my family says, please, can you stop making fun of my turban? Because my people, Tiger Ali Singh. He's like, please, don't make fun of the... He goes, shut up and put on a turban.
Eventually, they offered him a 13-week contract, but he declined it as he said he already had plans. But regardless, it's safe to say Patrice's time in New York elevated his popularity to another level. Patrice began opening up about a personal struggle he had been growing through, him to improve as an entertainer, because he was now trying different parts of showbiz and performing in front of a completely different audience with a new approach.
Ebola. Oh, the monkey. The monkey is gonna bite. It's gonna bite me, and I'm gonna spread this shit, and they're gonna have to drop a bomb on my whole street. They're going to blow my street up.
Patrice also traveled across wider Europe performing stand-up, which gave him an international fan base. Upon returning to the US, Patrice then moved to LA, where he ran into some troubles due to his stubbornness.
Patrice's flaw was he didn't want to succumb to what he felt was the bullshit of the business.
He kept falling out with club owners as they would tell him to stop his confrontational act, but he would never listen. Consequently, he struggled to earn enough money and ended up staying with Kevin Hart whilst he found his feet. Whilst at Kevin Hart's house, Patrice made sure to give Kevin an unforgettable memory.
I go in the back, open up the door. I had this big-ass computer. All I see is his back hunched over. It's like baby oil right here. And I come in, I'm like, yo, what you doing? He's like, yo, get out. Are you jerking off in my house, man?
Patrice eventually landed a spot on Colin Quinn's Tough Crowd, where he was finally allowed to express his confrontational and unique perspective on topics.
I let him get away with murder on that show.
Many of you hate me because some of your favorite comics come on the show and they can't get a word in edgewise. Trust me, they ain't got nothing to say. If black people had one face to call the leader of race, like of slavery, like, cause it's too broad, we just hate too many of you. If you just made like one dude with a funny mustache and a big bike, like, he was the dude that made slavery, we'll be like, all right, we hate him, and then we can move on.
Yeah. That's very smart.
Tough Crowd was my thing, man. I loved it with all my heart. I haven't done anything since that I love as much as I love Tough Crowd.
Unfortunately, this show was canceled in 2004, but it allowed Patrice to land a show on Comedy Central Presents.
I'm so arrogant. When I travel to other people's countries, I refer to them in their own country as foreigner. I act like they visiting me. I look at them like, oh, where are you from, man? Where are you from? Like, clothes you got on, foreigners? Oh, who the... What is this language you're speaking here in Turkey?
Appearances on Opie and Anthony also presented Patrice's unequaled personality to new audiences.
I'm a funny guy. I like funny. Yeah. Boy, show business is here for a guy, a piece of shit like me who can make a buck making people laugh because I'm a funny dude. I get into it, and in the 18th year, I just realized one thing you don't need in this business is integrity. You're a fucking idiot if you have some type of a core value system. It's useless.
Patrice soon became a regular on the Fox series The Jury and starred in Comedy Central's animated program Shorties Watchin' Shorties. By now, Patrice hosted a relationship advice show on XM, initially titled Bitch Management, before it was renamed to The Black Phillip Show. Yet again, Patrice displayed his special personality.
I fucking get bitches easy because I give them no choice but to fucking like me. Now, I make them think being with a fat motherfucker is the shit. You understand what I'm saying? So when you do the Lord Westfall, what would you call it, your alter ego? When you do the Lord Westfall shit, you do that inside and walk around like, bitch, being creepy. She's fat, look at that.
It's juicy.
Nigga.
I love my fucking ass.
Look at his ass right here. That's a fat ass.
In 2005, Patrice filmed the half-hour one-night stand special for HBO, where he displayed his notable comedy.
And I don't mind foreigners, but don't be from your country. Like, it's okay to be originally from there, like your parents and grandparents, but you can't be from India and ibble-dabble for my ibble-dabble ID. You go, what the fuck? I know I'm American. I gotta be more American than you, because I don't go ibble-dabble, dibble-dabble, ID, boarding pass.
Between 2005 and 2007, Patrice also played the warehouse worker role in The Office, which boosted his popularity even further. Then in 2006 and 2007, he joined Opie and Anthony's traveling virus comedy show, which allowed him to perform in large arenas across the US, which drastically boosted his popularity even further. He then became the host of seasons 1 and 2 of Web Junk 20, where he had great success making jokes out of the trending themes of the time.
Fuck the police, and then to finish it, coming out from the underground. A young nigga got it bad because I'm brown. And on the other hand, so police think. They have the authority to kill a minority. But I say, fuck that shit. Because I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on.
When he was offered a contract renewal for season 3 that paid him 4 times the amount of his previous contracts, in true Patrice O'Neal fashion, he declined it because he was dissatisfied with the show's direction and the nature of the work. Then, in late 2007, he finally got The Patrice O'Neal Show with his girlfriend and 3 other comedians. But the show didn't last long as it was unable to attain sponsorship due to its offensive content and his stubborn personality, and Patrice knew this.
Hey, my name's Patrice O'Neal, and I've been fighting with crackers my whole life, and it's got me no place. I just wish I'd have took some time to understand him a little bit more. I wonder what my life would have been.
Patrice's friends noticed this in him as well.
Patrice lived his life as if he thought a movie of his life would be shown to his friends after, and he'd get called out if he didn't talk shit when he was supposed to.
Throughout his career, arguments with managers, disagreements with scriptwriters, and of course, stubbornness, held Patrice back from obtaining success at the same time as some of his peers. Up until now, Patrice had neglected his health, and a perfect example of this was in 2007. He revealed that he turned down an opportunity to appear on Celebrity Fit Club and said that his career is more important than his health, which would later come back to bite him. Patrice also voiced Jeffron James in Grand Theft Auto 4, but one thing that held Patrice back was his unique views on females.
It's harder to deal with black women. She would let you be a man for the 5 minutes that you needed to be, like to get there, like you go, oh, girl, go in there and get that money for that shirt. And you would go in and go, I had this shirt for 6 months and this has a rip in it. And I was wondering if I could, move, nigga, you ain't doing enough. This motherfucking shirt it's only been 6 months. Give him this motherfucking money back. Okay. Black women give you 2 seconds to try to be a man, right? And then, you know, they'll go for it.
They'll take off.
And it's volatile. It's a volatile thing. White people's relationships are volatile. No. It's a white woman whispering man stuff in your ear until you kill her.
Whilst this won him some fans, it definitely cost him many female supporters and some sponsorships. This unique take on women may come from the health problems Patrice had that he knew would limit his ability to live a long life, which would affect his relationships with women. In fact, it actually cost him and his girlfriend, Vonda Carlo Brown, significantly.
I remember I peed on a stick and I was like, yeah, we're pregnant. He said, listen, you're a woman. I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your body. But I wanna be honest and tell you I don't feel comfortable leaving you here with a baby. He was like, I'm not gonna live a long life and I can't leave you like that. So we didn't have the baby.
Despite Patrice's big, bold, bully persona, by Patrice's late 30s, he knew his lack of dietary discipline and diabetes were catching up to him, and he began to display this in his comedy.
And that's another thing that's fucking me up, man. I'm starting to think about death, because I'm 38, and that's young relatively, but in black years, I'm a 186-year-old white man. Like, I prayed to God for help to not eat cookies. Like, I was praying to God. Like, I didn't pray for a cure for nothing. I didn't pray that the Haitian people get food, nothing. It was for me to not eat cookies.
However, this did not stop Patrice O'Neal. He continued to perform stand-up and win over crowds all around America, and in 2010, he eventually landed his first and only one-hour special titled Elephant in the Room. Yet still, on a bigger stage than he was used to, he couldn't hold back when it came to speaking about women.
I'm thinking one in particular pair of titties in the front row. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience coordinator, for putting those titties up in the front row. You know how you can tell how pretty a white woman is? The value, you look at her and then you wonder how long they would look for if she was missing. Come on, take a look, take a look. Look at this nigga, look, 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 look.
Patrice also used his special to demonstrate his amazing ability to just speak on controversial topics.
I'm mad at him because I thought I would have a white slave by now. I thought it was Vengeance Day. I want to have me a white family. Oh, big old fat white girl gonna warm my bed up. Get upstairs, Susan. Warm my bed up, feed my baby with your giant white titties, and I'm gonna go outside and stare your husband in the face and decide whether I'm gonna sell him or not. I'm gonna tell you, if you're over 40 and you're trying to better yourself, just stop. You're not gonna better yourself. And when I say you're not gonna better yourself, I mean better yourself like go back to when you try to capture the things you used to do when you supposed to have did it, but you didn't do it. You feel me? So the stuff that you were 18 and didn't do, now you're 40 and you're going, I'm gonna make a change. It's just, it doesn't make me sick more than somebody 40 and say they in school. Like, what you doing? I mean, I'm going to school. You're never too young and never too old and never too... All bunch of sayings. You know, the older you are, shut the fuck up with your old horse shit. Because it ain't... You're old. Your brain don't work. Your body don't work.
In Patrice's defense, he did try to fight his health problems instead of giving up entirely.
He was definitely trying to figure it out. We were vegan for 3 years.
However, unfortunately for Patrice, it was too little, too late.
He was right there in the chair, not saying anything. And, you know, for the first time in the 10 years I knew him, I saw a tear come down his face, and I just wiped it off, and I was like, oh no. No, we're not doing that.
Patrice suffered from a stroke and had to be hospitalized as his health drastically deteriorated.
I was in his room, and I went over to, you know, kind of wake him up, because he could open his eyes, and he didn't wake up.
Patrice O'Neal died at 7 a.m. on November 29, 2011, due to complications from his stroke, which was caused by the type 2 diabetes he had since his early 20s. Post Patrice's death, his unreleased material got released. Despite his special being recorded live in 2010, a digital version was released after his death in 2011 in honor of him. The proceeds from his unreleased material got distributed to his mother, fiancée, and stepdaughter. To this day, fellow comedians still speak highly of him.
We'll always celebrate him. We'll always speak on his behalf when it comes to the greats and some of the best and baddest to touch the microphone. He's in that group. He's in that group, whether you like it or not.
In 2012, B-Scene Media released his first comedy album, Mr. P, which reached #1 on the Billboard Comedy Albums chart and number 35 on the Billboard 200. Patrice will always be remembered for his polarizing comedic style and hilarious racial satire that he carried throughout his life. He turned down as many offers as he did, or got into as many arguments with producers as he was able to. So this is why there will never be another Patrice O'Neal. But this comedian has also lived a rare life.